The Tower of London, officially known as Her Majesty's Royal Palace and Fortress of the Tower of London, is a historic castle located on the north bank of the River Thames in central London. Known for its deep history and as a symbol of oppression, it has also been the setting for numerous chilling tales and legends. Established by William the Conqueror in 1066, the tower has served as a royal residence, a treasury, an armory, and notably, a prison. Its dark and often gruesome history has given rise to many ghost stories that linger in its thick, ancient walls. The Tower of London is reputed to be one of the most haunted places in Britain. Perhaps the most famous spectral residents include the princes in the tower. In the late 15th century, two young princes, Edward V and his brother Richard, Duke of York, were declared illegitimate by their uncle, Richard III, who ascended to the throne. The boys were last seen playing within the tower grounds, and it is believed that they were murdered on their uncle's orders. Their ghosts have reportedly been seen, still dressed in the white nightshirts they wore the night they disappeared, holding hands and looking forlorn. Another infamous ghost is that of Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. Anne was imprisoned in the tower by Henry, who accused her of treason, adultery, and incest. She was executed on Tower Green in 1536. Her headless body has been seen walking the tower's corridors, and sometimes her ghost appears near the site where she was executed, carrying her head under her arm. Lady Jane Grey, known as the 9 Days Queen, is another tragic figure said to haunt the tower. Proclaimed queen only to be deposed by Mary I, she was executed at the age of 16. Witnesses have reported seeing her ghost on the anniversary of her death, looking out from the windows of the Beauchamp Tower, where she spent the last days of her life. A haunting figure known as the White Lady has been seen waving from a window in the White Tower, her sad face startling staff and visitors alike. She is said to emanate a perfume of violets, which follows her appearance. The White Lady has been reported to haunt the premises, causing a chill in the air as she passes. Sir Walter Raleigh, the famed explorer, spent several years imprisoned in the tower. His ghost has been spotted in the Bloody Tower, where he was held. Visitors report smelling the distinct aroma of his pipe tobacco, and some have seen a shadowy figure pacing back and forth, perhaps pondering his fate or planning his next exploration. The tower was not only a residence, but also a notorious place of torture and death. The screams of pain from tortured prisoners are sometimes heard echoing through the tower's dark chambers. One of the most active spots is the Wakefield Tower, where Henry VI is said to have been murdered in his sleep. On the anniversary of his death, his figure is sometimes seen, looking startled and gasping in shock. Interestingly, the Tower of London also housed a menagerie for several centuries. Exotic animals, including lions, bears, and elephants, were kept as symbols of the monarchy's power and prestige. Some night guards have reported hearing the roars of lions echoing through the grounds, long after the last animal was removed. Despite its chilling legends, or perhaps because of them, the Tower of London remains one of the city's most popular tourist attractions. Visitors come not only to view the crown jewels and learn about the history of England, but also to feel the shiver of walking through the same halls as those who have become the subjects of England's most haunting ghost stories. The Tower of London's history of royal intrigue, imprisonment, and ghosts make it a fascinating glimpse into England's past. Its stories and legends have been passed down through generations, making it a cornerstone of London's historical narrative and a lasting symbol of the thin line between the past and the present, the living and the spectral. Whether these stories are believed to be true or are simply part of the tower's allure, they certainly provide a spine-chilling backdrop to one of London's most historic landmarks. The Bell Witch haunting is one of the most famous ghost stories in American history, with its roots in the early 19th century in northern Robertson County, Tennessee. The story revolves around the Bell family, particularly John Bell and his daughter Betsy. The haunting began in 1817 and continued for several years, becoming a well-documented supernatural event. The disturbances began with mysterious sounds around the Bell family's farmhouse. These sounds included knocking on doors and windows, chains dragging on the floor, and the sound of gnawing on bedposts. Initially, these noises were subtle and barely noticeable, but over time, they grew louder and more frequent. John Bell, the head of the family, tried to find a source of these sounds, suspecting they might be caused by animals or some pranksters, but he found nothing. As the events continued, the Bells began to experience more intense phenomena. The family started hearing whispering voices too faint to understand, but sounding like an old woman singing hymns. As the haunting progressed, the ghost, which became known as the Bell Witch, seemed to focus particularly on John Bell and his youngest daughter, Betsy. Betsy suffered from physical attacks, which included having her hair pulled and being slapped. The entity seemed to express particular displeasure towards John Bell, inflicting a mysterious illness on him that would lead to severe swelling and difficulty swallowing. Witnesses reported seeing various apparitions, including a dog with a rabbit's head, a bird of extraordinary size, and a girl swinging from the limb of a tree. The phenomenon attracted the attention of many curious people, including the future President of the United States, Andrew Jackson. Legend has it that when Jackson visited the Bell farm, his wagon became inexplicably stuck until he acknowledged the presence of the Bell Witch. Over time, the entity developed a voice and began speaking freely, singing hymns, quoting scriptures, and carrying on intelligent conversations. It claimed to be the spirit of a Native American and the witch of a neighbor woman named Kate Batts. The witch's reasons for haunting the Bells varied, but it often cited John Bell's bad business dealings or displeasure with the engagement of Betsy Bell to a local boy as motives. The climax of the haunting came with the death of John Bell in 1820. The family found a vial of unknown liquid in the house, and the witch claimed to have given him the liquid. After testing the substance on a cat, which died instantly, the family was convinced that the witch had poisoned John Bell. Shortly after his death, the disturbances decreased and eventually stopped. The witch claimed it would return in 7 years, and it reportedly did come back, but only visited John Bell's son, John Bell Jr., with whom it discussed life and the spiritual realm before disappearing again. The Bell Witch story remains a significant part of Tennessee folklore, attracting visitors to the area and inspiring various books, movies, and research into paranormal phenomena. The descendants of the Bell family have continued to report strange occurrences in the area over the years. The Bell Witch haunting is a mix of early American folklore and supernatural legend. It illustrates the 19th century frontier life's hardships and the mysteries that can arise from unexplained phenomena. The story, rooted in actual events and real people's lives, has become a compelling narrative of the supernatural that continues to fascinate and terrify even to this day. Aokigahara Forest, also known as the Sea of Trees and infamously known as the Suicide Forest, is a dense forest located at the northwest base of Mount Fuji in Japan. This eerie forest has a haunting reputation, with its thick undergrowth and absence of wildlife, sounds making it unusually quiet and solemn. The forest spans approximately 35 square kilometers, 13.5 square miles, and has become notorious for being a place where people go to end their lives. Over the years, Aokigahara has been the subject of numerous documentaries, movies, and ghost stories, each adding to its mysterious and somber fame. The forest itself is a beautiful yet somber place. Its trees are so tightly packed that they block much of the natural sunlight, creating a dark and shadowy landscape. The ground is uneven with rocky caverns and dense roots, which can make navigation difficult. Adding to its mystique, the forest's trees grow twisted and eerily, as if nature itself has been warped. The forest is also known for its quietness due to the absence of wildlife, which is unusual for such a rich natural environment. The silence, combined with the folklore surrounding the forest, creates an unsettling atmosphere that many describe as chilling. Aokigahara has a complex history intertwined with Japanese mythology and culture. The forest is traditionally believed to be haunted by the spirits of the dead, known as yurei, who are trapped in a form of purgatory according to local folklore. It is said that these spirits can lead unsuspecting visitors off the paths, causing them to become lost. Historical records and tales suggest that during times of famine and disease, some families would leave their elderly and sick relatives in the forest to die, a practice known as ubasut. This grim history contributes to the forest's reputation as a haunted place. Since the 1950s, Aokigahara has gained a reputation as a destination for suicides. This phenomenon was further popularized by Saiko Matsumoto's 1960 novel Kuroi Jukai, Black Sea of Trees, where the protagonist ends her life in the forest. Additionally, a more direct influence was Wataru Tsurumi's 1993 book, The Complete Manual of Suicide, which described Aokigahara as the perfect place to die. The forest sees an average of 100 suicides each year, although exact numbers are not officially published by Japanese authorities in recent years to discourage the behavior. Due to the high number of suicides, local authorities and volunteers have taken steps to prevent them. Signs are posted at forest entrances with messages urging people to reconsider their actions and seek help. There are also regular patrols by police, volunteers, and occasionally journalists. These patrols often find abandoned belongings or signs of camping, indications that someone might be considering suicide. Many volunteers who patrol the area also consider their work as a mission to save lives, sometimes directly intervening to prevent suicide attempts. The dark allure of Aokigahara has made it a subject of many forms of media. From films to literature to YouTube videos, it has been depicted in various horror movies and documentaries, often sensationalizing the tragic reality of the forest. This attention, while increasing global awareness about the forest, also sometimes contributes to the mystification and stigma surrounding mental health issues. Despite its somber reputation, Aokigahara is a place of undeniable natural beauty and is a popular destination for tourists seeking to experience its unique landscape. Guided tours are available, focusing on the geological aspects of the forest, such as its ice caves and wind caves formed from lava. These tours carefully avoid the darker aspects of the forest's reputation, instead highlighting its natural beauty and ecological significance. Aokigahara Forest, with its dense foliage, silence, and haunting background, remains a place wrapped in tragedy and mystery. While it is a site of significant cultural and historical importance in Japan, it also serves as a reminder of the complexities of human emotion and the profound impacts of mental health. As much as it is a beautiful part of the natural world, Aokigahara also challenges us to think compassionately and act thoughtfully concerning those who are drawn to its shadows. Thanks for watching. If you're fascinated by haunted tales like these, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more chilling stories from the darkest corners of history. Stay tuned and keep exploring the mysteries that linger in the shadows.